What's up, witches? How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone's having an amazing day, having a great Friday, and I want to welcome you all to the Bayou Bruja. Today on the Bayou Bruja, we're going to be finishing up with our Lughnasadh celebration. And yes, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. It's not just for 2 days. It's a Sabbath. You build an altar, you give thanks to the spirits, the gods, the goddesses, ancestors, whomever you would like. But you can also do it until the next Sabbath comes. You don't have to just not do it anymore after those 2 days of celebration. Most people do their huge celebrations and all their stuff and build them the altar and, do the dinners, everything. You can do anything you want. It's endless with the things you can do with the Sabbaths and stuff. And that's what today is basically going to be about, because at the beginning of the week, I did 3 different things, 3 of the main elements that you use on your altar for this particular Sabbath. And I've added a lot to it, and I want to share that with everyone. But just keep in mind, when you see any of my altars or anything that I do, there's going to be a lot of stuff on them, because this isn't something that I just started doing a few years ago. I have done this my entire life, and I've accumulated a lot of things over time that I put on my altars. And I don't just have one altar for Sabbaths. I have several. I have my main altar, and that is my personal altar, and it's very private, and I was always taught not to expose that or show that to anyone. That is your altar and your altar only, and it's for you. No one's allowed to touch it. No one can see it. It's yours. But I also have other ones for my ancestors. I have one strictly for my mother. I have one for my familiar, and I have a Sabbath altar, and I add to it, take away from it, change things out, because I do have regular food on here, and I don't want it to get rotten. And I also don't want Bear to get a hold of it, because he has a habit of getting a hold of some things, and he will go hide them in his bed. And that wouldn't be good if I found rotten food in his bed. So yeah, today's not really going to be an extremely long video. It's going to just be kind of it and to the point of, this is me talking to you all, explaining to you what we're here for today, and me basically showing y'all my Lughnasadh altar and what's on it, what it represents for me, what it represents with the gods and goddesses, stuff, all the good stuff, all everything that matters. And there's people who, how can I say this without sounding like I'm being mean or judging, because that is something I absolutely 100% stay away from. I am not going to sit here and tell any one person that what they're doing, what they practice, how they do it is wrong, because that's none of my business. How I do my work, how I do my rituals, my spell work, I do it because that's what works for me. I can't sit there and tell someone, well, you can't have that in that spot on your altar because that's not what this book says. No, sorry, that's not how it works. Just because you read it in a book doesn't mean that that's how it has to be. That's how it's set in stone. You do your practice the way you want to do your practice. You do what you do. Because at the end of the day, and this may come as a shock, but it's not, I'm being a smart ass. Whenever a lot of us older witches, or not even older, what you do is in your intention. It's what you manifest. It's what you create. And it's behind one main tool that you have. Your one most very important main tool. And my loves, that is you. It does not matter what books say. It does not matter what the no, 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 let's get on TikTok. No, 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 let's get on Instagram and bash other witches, which I've seen a lot this week. I'm like, for real though, you don't do that. You don't go and pick someone out of a group of people that you found something wrong with that day and disagree with what they're saying and then put them on blast because you think you're right. That is the most unwitch-like thing I've ever seen before in my life. And I've seen a lot of crappy shit. I'm sorry, but no, you don't do that to people. You don't go and make stitches with other people who's barely got any followers to begin with when you've got a ton and say, oh, this person's wrong, she's doing that wrong. Just because it didn't work for you does not mean it's not going to work for that person, because it's not in how they did it exactly how they saw it wrote down and spelled out what someone else did. It's about what you do. It's about how you do it. It's about how much heart and soul you put into it and how much you believe it's going to happen. That's how rituals work. You don't go take something someone else wrote and you think it's going to work for you. Because I will promise you, babies, I will promise you, what you do, what you create will work better than anything you will ever see, anything you will ever read from someone else. Now that rant's over, sorry, I had to because it's really been eating me up. Just like when some people see this altar, I'm pretty sure that once I do start getting further along in things, people are going to start going back and saying, well, she didn't do that right. And she didn't. No, I did it right because that's how I wanted to do it. This is my altar. This is me telling the gods and goddesses, thank you. This is me giving them offerings so I will be fruitful next season. It's not about what others think. It's about what you believe and what you feel and what you put your intentions in and what you manifest. You. All right. Now that I've said that and got that out, I mean, it's really like got me this week. I will sit on my couch and just watch witch talk for a couple hours. And sometimes I realize I'm sitting here like, you don't bash other witches. Just because you don't believe what that person believes does not give you a right to say it's not real, it's not true, and it is not, definitely not okay for you to ever tell someone they are not a real witch because you disagree with something they said. No, baby, no. That's not life. But anyways, back to what this video was meant to be about, but it's kind of about the same thing. Like when you see where some things are on my altar, or you see some of the things I have on my altar, well, that wasn't wrote down on the correspondence. No shit. Most of it is. But there's things in this altar that I added. It's part of me. It's part of my ancestors. It's part of my world. Because I am and have been called lately a rebel witch, chaos witch. No, I'm neither. I'm me. I am very unique. Everyone is. Every single one of us are unique in our own way. And there's not a certain set path for that. Because I am a priestess of voodoo. And I am bloodborne. I'm also a swamp witch. I also do kitchen witch. I also green. Like I'm everything. But my main practice is voodoo. I'm very well seasoned and I've done Louisiana voodoo my entire life. I was born into it. I grew up doing it. And it's what I'm passionate about. But there's so much other stuff that's mixed into it. That's why I'm saying it's unique. Because you'll see, when you see my altar, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's got a part of me. It's got a part of my ancestors. It's got a part of my own practice. It's got a part of several other practices that I do know and that I'm very seasoned in. Being a witch, for me, isn't just an accessory that I tell people, though I do this and this. This is my life. This is my everyday. I wake up and go to sleep and I'm a witch. This is who I am. This is my legacy. So after seeing all that this week, I felt like I needed to say something about that, because I just think it's pretty shitty for other people to sit back and try to dictate and say what someone should and shouldn't do and what they are and what they're not. And they use a certain herb. That's not what this is used for. You can walk outside and grab a handful of dirt and some grass and create a freaking spell with it and put somebody in a jar and make them suffer for days if you know what you're doing. If you believe in yourself and you believe in what you're doing, honey, that's all you need. But telling somebody the herbs that they're using and what they're doing is too pretty, go on with that. Nobody wants to hear it. And it does not make any one person look at you like you are anything special, because that is the most unwitch-like thing people can do. Sorry, it just... I've been seeing it too much this week. And I'm sorry, it's a lot of the younger witches that are doing it. Stop. Just stop. All right, let me shut up. All right. Now what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you this altar. We're going to get this day going because I got some stuff to cook and my husband's off all weekend. So I'm going to relax and chill because I haven't really felt that well the last 2 days. And I feel a lot better today, and I need a lot of stuff I need to catch up on. So I hope y'all all enjoyed my little rant. Once you get to know me, you'll understand. I speak my mind a lot. I'm very open. I'm very honest. If you ever want to ask me anything, be more than welcome, because I'm not going to lie to you. And I want to help people. I want to help people understand what I'm saying. You can do whatever practice you want to do. Yes, I'm blood-born into what I do, and there's a lot of people that think if you're not, you can't do it. That's not true, Karen. You can do whatever you want. And I want to help you understand that, and I want to help you see that voodoo and hoodoo and root work, they are some very spectacular and amazing crafts to learn and get into. And I'm going to show you how. You want to be bloodborne? Become we go blood to blood. I'll make you bloodborne. How about that? So all the nay finger slingers out there can go and say, she's wrong. No, I'm not. Y'all are wrong for getting on all the social media and calling out other witches like they're doing something wrong. But I am going to say this. I do have to say this. Look, I will never tell you what you're doing wrong because it's what part of you is. But I will tell you, educate yourself. Educate yourself, read, learn about what you're doing, learn about the things you're dealing with, learn about the things that can go wrong, learn about what you're conjuring up. Because that's a bad thing these days. There's a lot of new witches getting into things, and they're pulling things out and conjuring things up that they don't understand yet. This is my public service announcement. Read, educate yourself. Learn it until you think you've learned it, and then do it again. Do it 3 times. Make it so repetitive, you make yourself sick with it. You get into a certain type of magic and you don't understand it, and you create things or you manifest things that are bad. It's not just bad on you. You need to understand that. It's bad on everyone around you. It's bad on the people. If you leave something in a spot that you created it and you pulled it out and it attaches itself to someone else, that's on you. Learn your craft. Whatever craft you decide to take, whatever road you decide to go down, learn it until you're blue in the face. I don't care if it's a book you read 5 times. You go get it again a couple years later and you read it again to refresh yourself on it, babies. There's a lot of people doing things that they don't need to be doing. In the Fae, you don't go and pull a Fae out and want one in your house. You know what you do with the Fae? You respect them and you leave them alone. They are not little cute tiny Tinkerbells flying around. They will wreak havoc on your home and your soul. Do not listen to that girl. I know I just said not to do that, but that's why I had to throw this part in there. If you're going to do anything with your craft, learn it yourself. Don't just watch someone do it on a 60-second video and think you know what you're doing. If you're really interested in it, go look it up. There's Google. You can find anything on Google. I mean, anything. There's some really I've seen some pretty messed up things come from Google. But with that being said, educate yourself. But do it for yourself. Don't go to someone who's going to try to charge you to learn information, because all the information that you need as a witch and being a beginner witch, ask me. I'll tell you anything you want to know, and I'm not going to charge you a cent. There's a lot I do know, but there's a lot I don't know. But one thing I do know for a fact, stop trying to conjure things you don't know anything about. Educate yourself very well on what you do want to do, and you will have no problem doing it, and you're creating your own version of it. I'm going to stop talking about it now. I just had to get it all out before I showed y'all my beautiful altar for Lughnasadh. I don't know what we're going to do next week, though. I want it to be something different than I've done, because I've done divination. I've showed y'all my bones. We've done, what did we do? We did travel altars. Ooh, I know what I want to do. I want to do manifestation boxes. I said that like 2 weeks back that I wanted to do a video about manifestation boxes, and I didn't do it. I did travel altars, and then I had an idea to do this whenever the Sabbath came. So yeah, next week it's going to be about manifestation boxes. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to create one for y'all. I'm going to document it and everything. I made a few, I'll make them for people also, because they're really good to have, especially when you're learning how to manifest. Having a manifestation box is something, it is something really good to have. It's a very good tool to have for yourself. So, have a badass day. Have a badass Friday. Come back next week. We're going to have some more fun, and I promise I'll try not to bitch and rant about something. But I just had to get all that out, man. It was eating me up. And I'm usually a very, I push all the negativity away from me. It ain't nothing getting to me, buddy. I lived like that for a long time. All that shit is gone, becon. I'm sorry, you out of here. But anyways, have a great afternoon. Have a great evening. Be responsible this weekend. I love you all. Thank you all for being here. And remember, you're a badass witch. Peace out. All right, loves, here is my Lughnasadh altar. Like I said, it has a lot of stuff on it, but you have to understand, when I say I've been doing this my entire life, I have boxes that are for each different Sabbath. And some things I do use over and over again, but like my cauldron, it right now is, I have it right here because it is part of my altar right now, but it's because I am letting the gods and goddesses bless it for this upcoming new moon, because it is full of swamp water. And I have things I'm going to be doing with the new moon too, and I'm going to make a video about that also. So, but I just, I always have a lot of stuff on my altars, and that's why I've had some of this stuff since I was a baby. Like, I have things from my great grandmother, and I have things from my aunts. It's just part of everything I'm about and part of my practice and my life. So it's always a part of my altars. So let me get started. I'm going to go like one thing at a time. But like my cauldron, it is full of swamp water, and I am going to be using it for the new moon, but I also use it for my altars, and it does go back. And we have our bread down there, and we have our fruits, because what is the Sabbath about? It's the grain, flour, things like that. And I have that up here also. We have, okay, try not to fall over. There is rice, there is flour, I have beans. It's things that, it's all about. And it's like the staple, some of the main staples of what the Sabbath is. Like, we have the bread down here, and we have the goddess, and I give the offerings directly to the goddess. You also see my raven's claw right there. And those are some very important things that represent for me, because I do worship the Loa, and that right there, my raven's foot, represents them also. So that's me not just giving my offerings to the gods and goddesses, I'm also doing it to the spirits. And I have the fresh fruit. I have the lemon, the apple, and the orange. I've got my broom down there to sweep away all my negativity every day when I light my incense and I do my chants. It's all for my ritual. It's all for ritualistic purposes. And we also have things. I have like sage. I have mint. I have all my seeds and stuff right here that I want them to bless for next year's crop. Basically, it's what I'm going to plant. And like, because it's apple seeds, it's lemon seeds, grapefruits, pears. Or no, not pears. It's peaches and nectarines. But I also have lavender, sage, and catnip up there also. And this right here is all my, what's the word for that? I can't remember what the word for that is. But it's like the things I want out of this next coming year. And I want the gods and goddesses to grant me that, the spirits to grant me that, basically. And I write it all down, and I'm going to light a candle tonight for it. And before the next Sabbath, it's usually like the day before the next Sabbath, I'll take all my bay leaves. I wrote my wants and, my manifestations that I want out of everything down on, and I'll burn them. Oh, excuse me. But when I burn them and keep the ashes. And what I do with those ashes is I make black protection salt with those ashes. And that's with everything. We may need to do a video on disposing of spell remains also. That would be really fun for me to show y'all. So, and back there, that's the 2 corn dollies we made. And in the very middle, I didn't make this. Someone else I know makes this on Etsy, and I cannot remember her name, but she does very, very good work, and that is a wheat doll. And the same thing with this pentacle. That's all clay, but it's very beautiful, and it's got all the colors on it. And my dagger with my blessing on it. And we got oak tree leaves. And see my little bottle right there off to the left? That's my little protection bottle with anise, black salt, and lavender in there. And let's see, oh, we got our butterfly, that's an amber. Our beetle, that's an amber. I'm just showing y'all all the basic stuff first before I get into my bottom sections. And this right here, I'm gonna light whenever I'm done explaining all this. And I have my homemade sage sticks. And I have all my crystals and rocks all in here. There are a bunch of different ones. It's a jasper and agate, Dalmatian jasper, amethyst, all kinds of stuff. And my snake right here, that snake is there because snakes are my spirit animal. I'm a Scorpio. I was born on October 31st. And the snake is my spirit animal in the Native American culture because I am Native American. Okay, what else do I show y'all? I have my head hung over, so sorry. And oh yes, I need to explain to you, this is what I have to use for my sunburst. Because the sunburst I had, well, it got eaten by a big furry beast named Bear because I left it sitting up here. And that's what I'm saying. I have to be careful of what I leave sitting out here because before I go to bed, I have to put some of that stuff in these cabinet doors and shut them because it may not be there in the morning. Just like my sunburst wasn't there in the morning and all I found was a big ball with no bursty, pretty colors or anything on it because he decided it looked more like his squeaky ball and it was going to be his. So I had to improvise and I'm using my sun. It is a beaded sun actually, and it is hanging around the sun water. This is sun water that I put out in the sun and everything's cleansed and blessed by me. But this is a beaded sun that was made by one of my aunts. They do beadwork, they're Native American. So it's very beautiful and well made. This right here is moon water. No, that's not moon water. That is white wine. This is white wine. Okay, I was confused. But this right here, this is my bourbon. I always leave drinks and liquor as offerings to my guides and to the gods and goddesses because they really like that. And this right here is feathers. We have a hawk, we have raven, we have owl, we have seagull. We have many of different birds, and this is my way of honoring them. So that's like the main stuff on top, and the stuff I have in the doors underneath, that's my stuff that I want the ancestors and the spirits and the gods and goddesses to bless for me. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's not traditional. Well, I'm not traditional, so why would anything I do be traditional? This is my way of doing things. Remember that. That's what you need to do also, because that's how things work. When you put your heart and soul into something, I guarantee you're going to see your spells and rituals start working a hell of a lot better. All right. That right there is moss. And maybe I should do the other side before I do this side, because you see this moss right here? That's Spanish moss. And I use it to trap things in. Negativity, positivity, anything you want to use. Like you can even use cotton balls to do that. But I use moss. But what else I also use is corn husk. That's the corn hairs that slice my finger open. This right here. You can use this stuff right here to trap things in. Negativity, positivity, like thunderstorm air, anything you want to trap, you can use moss, you can use husk hair, anything you want, a cotton ball. But you see this stuff down here? It's my anise, my crushed pepper, my peppercorn. I also have with my homemade, you know how people have hot foot powder? Well, I'm not just Native American. The majority of myself is Native American, but I am also a Creole. I was born and raised in New Orleans. I grew up down there. My whole family's Cajun. And the other half of my family is Native American. So that right there, That's my version of my hot sauce that I make for my rituals and spells. This is my chicken foot. Here's my snake. Here's my gator foot. And I already told y'all what the middle was. And over here is more stuff that I use. You have my graveyard dirt. And this graveyard dirt comes from St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans. I have my holy water, my Florida water, snake skin, coffin nails. This is all stuff I use in my voodoo rituals. And this is me giving them to the gods and goddesses and spirits as an offering. And in return, they bless them for me. And it helps out my spells and rituals. Y'all know how that stuff works, right? Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you all enjoyed seeing my Lughnasadh Altar. And this is I don't burn a lot of candles, as you can see. I have a lot of flameless candles because Bear also likes to mess with stuff like that. And I'm very cautious about it because he is my child. And if you ever tell me that my dog is not my child, we're going to fight. We're going to fight hard, and I ain't going to let you walk away. Just saying. Anyways, I have to be very careful about what I leave out because him being safe is most important for me first and foremost. But this right here is my oil burner. When I do have this one going, I'm always in the room with it because this little thing down here gets super, super hot. So, but yeah, this is one of the best ones you can get because it's a triple goddess. It represents Hecate, and she is my spirit guide. So, one of them anyways. I have 3. Okay. Well, I hope you all enjoyed seeing my little altar and all my stuff and what it represents. Because I'm also going to keep adding to this until the next Sabbath. Like every day I'm going to put something different on here as offerings. I'm going to light candles. I'm going to cleanse it. I'm going to do chants. Like I said, this is something that, this is my life. This is who I am. And I want to share that with everyone. I want to teach everyone about what I do. And I want all of you to teach me about what you do and who you are. So, all right. Well, I hope you all have a great day. Like I said, have a great Friday. Thank you all for being here. Y'all are a bunch of badass witches. And I'll see you next week with our manifestation boxes. Peace out, babies.